Everdell is a 1 to 4 player worker placement game, and it was so hyped last year when it came out on Kickstarter. I needed to know if it was worth the hype or not. So the question is it good enough to stay in my collection? I'm Nate, and welcome to my Dice Dungeon, where each and every single video we are going to take a look at these games and determine whether they stay or they have to go. The object of Everdell is to gain the most points. Now, on your turn, you're going to have 3 different options. Your first option is to place a worker. You start out with 2 of them, and you can place these workers in any available space on the board. So some of these spaces are going to be the same between each and every single game, and some of these, like these for instance, are actually going to vary based on what game you're playing. So when you place your worker, we'll go here for instance, you get that action that worker is associated with. So I gain 2 resin here to my stock. Now these resources will come in handy. The second option that you have is to play a card. Now for instance, we have this farm, and that farm will gain us 1 berry. To play this card, remember the resources that we just got, we have to pay 2 wood and 1 resin. And once we do that, we play this into our tableau that's going to be in front of us. We will also gain 1 point for playing that card. This farm has a little critter that's associated with it. For instance, the farm has the husband and the wife. If I have this farm in my tableau, I can play the associated card, so the wife, without paying any of the resource costs. So I just take that wife and play it immediately into my tableau. Now you may be wondering what happens when I can't take any more actions. So all my workers are placed, I can't play any cards in front of me, I don't have enough resources to do anything. What do? Your third option as a player is to prepare for the next season. So what that entails is we follow the chart that's up on this tree. This will get me an additional worker for next season. I will reclaim the rest of my workers, and then I will activate the effects during the spring and autumn seasons of any farmer cards that I have. So anything that I have in my tableau that has this symbol on it, I get that resource or effect immediately. After that, my opponents still leave their workers out on the board, but I have to take all of mine away, so those spaces open up not only for myself, but for my opponents as well. The last thing that we need to talk about are the events, and you will have standard events down at the bottom of the tree and changing events up at the top. Now these events will change from game to game, and these will remain standard no matter when you play. So these standard events can range from having 3 of the paw cards to 4 of the farming cards in your tableau at any time. You would place one of your workers on that event, and then at the end of your round, and when you change seasons, you would get that event in front of you, which gains you extra victory points. The same thing happens with these changing events up top, but they're much more intricate. So for instance, an evening of fireworks gets achieved when you have a tower and a minor mole in your tableau. Now, once everybody has placed all of their workers out and have no available additional actions at the end of these seasons, you count up how many points you have in your tableau, and the winner is the player with the most points. So what else can I say about this game other than I love it? It is spectacular, and there are many, many reasons why I love it. The standard edition and the deluxe edition don't vary that much. You do get some additional cards, and you get these nice metal coins, which I happen to love. But the component quality overall, even in the standard edition, is still pretty good. If you don't mind your cardboard coins and a few chits to be cardboard, it's a negligible difference. So what else do I like about this? Well, the artwork is insanely good. The artwork brings you into the world. You feel like you're a part of it, placing your creatures and looking at the different constructions and the architecture that these forest creatures have put together. It is spectacular and thematically spot on. The other thing about the artwork is that the artwork may actually make this more of a gateway game than initially thought. You see, people will see this and they'll be able to go and say, well, this looks amazing. Like, I want to play this. And it lures them in. And then you get to teach them the concept of worker placement, which I have a ton of worker placement games, and nothing has the thematic draw that Everdell does to the table. Lords of Waterdeep and Viticulture just can't compare to the fun, friendly little shapes and artistic touches that this game brings. I do have a couple of minor complaints, and one is the rule book can get a little bit sketchy with some of the details and where it puts them. Some very important details we missed on our first playthrough because they were kind of mixed in with some other blocks of text. The other thing is this tree. While this tree is magnificent and I love the detail that it brings and the 3D architecture that it brings to the world, it is a little bit difficult to put together. Now, you'll start to see some edges that get frayed, and you'll start to get to see some little minor details that start to kind of disassemble. So what I'm going to wind up doing is leaving this up as a showpiece. One of the other things that I love is the card synergies. Very reminiscent of Seven Wonders. These synergies can give new players a strategy of what combines with what really well, and it kind of teaches you some of the cards that you can synergistically play together, which I absolutely love. So I have to highly recommend this game. I think it can belong on anybody's shelves. I love it. It's going to stay on my shelves for a very long time, if not forever. And it's going to be one of those games that I wind up getting out quite a bit. So, with that said, if you enjoyed this video, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. And please leave me any feedback that you think can make these videos better. Until next time, we'll see you later.